Okay, this is part 2 of my Spade Kingdom's top moments video. The last video got into my thoughts about the attack and kidnapping of Yami, Vengeance, and Lilipichka. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and do it, and then come back here. So the next big moment of the Spade Kingdom is the introduction of Nacht, the vice captain of the Black Bull. Now, for the most part, we don't actually get introduced to most of the vice captains of the Magic Knight Squad. We've met a few, but for the most part, these things are just kept secret or uninterested. No, but when it comes to the Black Bulls, this didn't really make a whole lot of sense because this is the squad that we follow all the time, and for some reason he's just been missing this entire time. Well, in truth, that he was actually doing an undercover mission with the Spade Kingdom. His introduction is actually really cool. The fact that Asta is broken and beaten down and he just can't do anything. He's depressed. He feels like he failed Yami, and he's going off on his own to try to save him, even though that would literally be impossible. And Nox like, you're an idiot, and just drags him to the ground with his shadow magic. He actually tries to tear down Asta at the beginning, like telling him that he's weak and that's the reason why he lost, and Yami deserved to get caught because he's an idiot and he's also weak and he's just a trash person. And Asta defended Yami and defended really the Black Bulls in general. And then Nox said, you know, you're the kind of person that I like. And he constantly says stuff like that throughout the entire arc, where he says, you're the kind of person I like, or you're the kind of person I hate. And eventually we learn what that actually means, which is that apparently anyone that reminds him of his old self, of himself, he hates because he hates himself because he ended up getting his brother killed. His brother was probably the most important person to him ever, and he truly believed that he was the better man who should have been able to live on and continue to be a great Magic Knight, but instead he died and Nox continued to live on. And that kind of broke the man. And just as the opposite, where he believed that anyone that's like him is trash, anyone that is like his brother, like Asta, is someone that he likes, that he's worth supporting, worth standing by. So basically, if you're noble, honest, and straightforward from the start, he likes you. But if you have to learn to do that after being basically trash for most of your life, then you're trash. No matter what, you're just trash from the beginning to the end. Now, he does eventually begin to forgive both himself and erase this part of his thinking where you're trash if you start out as trash and continue to be trash. And even if you overcome your how bad you are and you become a better person, you're still trash. He finally realized that that's just not a way of thinking. That's awful. Like, people have the right to redeem themselves, and those who do succeed in redeeming themselves should be seen as good people. But yeah, Nox was definitely a highlight throughout this entire arc. Okay, so the next big highlight would be, we finally get to know who Asta's devil is, Liebe. Ever since Zagreb, everyone's predicting that Asta's devil was probably a high-ranking one, but no. So, Liebe being Asta's devil is not something that I expected at all. The fact that he basically looks like Asta and basically had the same life as Asta and ended up being basically Asta's stepbrother. But I guess it does make sense. If they're in the human world, since Asta is a human who was born without magic, cannot use magic of any kind, then obviously that there might be devils born in the other world who are the same way. In this case, that would be Liebe. But the fact that they end up being raised by the same mother is kind of crazy. But I really did like the fact that the two of them were able to basically become friends and actual brothers by the fact that Asta could tell that Liebe was a good guy and that he generally did not have any evil intent, nor did he want to hurt anyone or do anything wrong. He just wanted to get revenge for his mother's death, and that was it. That was it. He just wanted to live in peace after that. Also, the fight between Liebe and Asta was probably one of the coolest fights because it showed that Asta was more than just anti-magic. It proved that he had been learning to be a swordsman the entire time. It showed every swordsman's technique that he took on and he adapted to himself, and he was able to use in the fight against Liebe. And deciding to create a partnership instead of a submissive pact was probably the most Asta thing you could have thought of to do. I mean, it was definitely perfect for the two of them because, let's be honest, they're brothers, they have the same mother, they should be treating each other as equals. I know Asta didn't know that at the time, but it just fit who he was and it fit the whole scenario, especially since even Liebe realized that he was very much like his mother. Liebe had his suspicions about Asta, but at that moment, he basically put two to two together. I am definitely happy that Liebe ended up being good in the end, because I really didn't want to have to go through an entire process of having to bring him over to Asta's side. If that actually happened, that would have taken so damn long, and they probably should have had a start from the beginning of the series, but obviously, that's not the way it went. Liebe was good from the beginning, and he just wanted to be free from the grimoire is all. Once he got that, and he was happy to be Asta's partner. Final thing I want to mention in this video that is a highlight is Mereoleona. That's it. Just her being herself. Every moment she's in this arc is amazing. Like the way she wrecks the ancient demon, and the way and the fact that she was able to find an even greater power of magic. Like she took her mana zone, which is supposed to be the pinnacle of magic, because that's basically why she was so strong and why she was so famous, because she mastered mana zone. But then she made it even better by condensing it over her own body and basically infusing the magic into her own body. Now, against Lucifero, when she was pushing this power to its most extreme, it was burning her own body. But still, the fact that her dedication to basically master this skill to the point where it can even damage her was insane. When everyone else got knocked out by Lucifero, all the other it was just her and Yuno, and she was just going and going and going. She fought that motherfucker to the very end. And she was one of the few people without being having arcane magic, who was able to hurt Lucifero. I think it was like her and Yuno were the only two. Everyone else couldn't even put a scratch on them unless they had arcane, like Yami or Asta. So that's just insane. The fact that she was able to increase her power to the point where she was able to hurt the King of the Devils. It was a small amount of pain he felt, but he still felt it, and that's important. When it comes down to it, she's without a doubt the strongest captain there is. Like, there's no way anyone can compete with her. She's a demon with endurance and strength that is unrivaled by anyone. My only disappointment is that we couldn't get more of her in this arc. Hopefully she'll get another spotlight in the next arc as well. That would be fantastic. Alright, that's the video. If you liked, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, so you can enjoy more Black Clover and other anime things. Thank you and have a great day.